JBL has finally launched new series of AV receivers. Yes, I know, JBL and receiver don't go hand in hand because in the past we have seen this brand make some of the best Bluetooth speakers, party speakers, sound bars, home theater speakers, but they have now decided to shake the AVR world with their newly launched series of amplifiers. And in my today's video, we are going to see whether this series of amplifier is actually meant for some serious home theater users like you. For long, we have seen that the JBL speakers were primarily used with Harman Kardon amplifiers. And I know many of you bought their first home theater setups with this combination because this was a perfect partnership that was actually going on for a very long time. But suddenly, Harman Kardon disappeared. Now, Harman Kardon was actually a part of the same Harman group which also owns JBL. Now, you would ask, but is JBL really capable to make amplifiers because they are meant for speakers? Well, you're right, but you're partially wrong as well. Because JBL has got JBL Synthesis, which is in the luxury segment, making one of the best AV receivers and processors in the market. Even the amplifiers of JBL Synthesis as well as Mark Levinson and Lexicon has been widely popular. So that is their background. There is another brand which is extremely popular and owned by the Harman Group, which is RCAP. Now with that kind of backing and sharing of research and development teams, JBL has finally decided to launch the new MA series, which stands for Modern Audio. Now this series in India is fairly new, but overall in the globe it was launched almost a year ago. So finally we have the JBL series in India, and I'm going to start my video by telling you some of the models that you can buy of JBL. Now JBL has got 5 amplifiers in this MA series, and these 5 amplifiers start from basic 5 channel and go all the way up to 9.2 channel, which is high performance series. Now the first one is the MA310. MA310 is a 5.2 channel AV receiver with 60 watts per channel at 8 ohms. This in India is priced at 74,999 and comes with only Bluetooth as a support. The second model is MA510. Now MA510 is again a 5.2 channel amplifier, but this time around the power has increased from 60 watts to 75 watts per channel at 8 ohms. And with this model, the amplifier's entry into the Wi-Fi segment also starts. This is priced in India at 99,999. The third model in this series is the JBL MA710. Now MA710 has got the same design language of its predecessors, but one change over here, which is a very significant change, is that number of channel has jumped from 5 channel to 7 channel, and the power output per channel at 8 ohms has jumped up to 110 watts. Now apart from these 3 models, they have got a high performance series, which I believe is for more serious home theater geeks who are looking for more features. And that is where MA7100HP, which is a 7.2 channel AV receiver, starts coming in. It is priced fairly around 2 lakh rupees in Indian market, and the MA9100HP is the second model in this series, which actually offers 9.2 channel support for processing as well as for amplification, and is priced at 2,74,999. So this right in front of me is the JBL's flagship high performance series model, which is the MA9100HP. Now, what makes HP so special? Well, the high performance label is not just label on paper. They have got some added features. The first feature, which is very significant when you look at both the series of amplifiers, is that it has got a nice colorful display screen in the front. Now this colorful display screen is one of the most exciting elements that I came across at the start when I unboxed this amplifier. The second cool thing that I liked about the JBL HP series of amplifiers is that it has got a Dirac live ready support as well, which means that if you buy the license, these high performance series of amplifiers are well enough prepared to calibrate your room using the Dirac live software. So that's the second advantage. And the third, I believe, has got more to do with the power output. Now, apart from the first model, which is only Bluetooth supported and meant for 5-channel application without 8K, rest all of the models has got everything that one may need in their home theaters. Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos for 7-channel plus amplifiers, 8K support for gaming, 4K at 120Hz, everything is possible with JBL. Now, let's talk about the design language. Now JBL comes in two colors, white as well as black. Now black typically works well in the Indian environment, but something which is very noticeable in this amplifier is the red-orange glow of that JBL which is around the amplifier. Now this is typically observed as the same design language that they have used in their new series of speakers, that is the Stage 2 series of speakers. Apart from that, when you turn on the amplifier, you have also got a nice glowing light at the bottom. Now I believe this is happening only for high performance series, but in case you have come across any other AVRs in JBL which is non-high performance and they have it, let me know in the comments. Now these colors are customizable. Apart from the JBL's patented orange, you can also put in purple, green, yellow, any fancy colors and can really look nice. They can become a nice talking point. The screens in the high performance series have also got a dimmable option. Now these dimmable option will ensure that it is not just shutting off the screen, but it is also turning off that red light on that AV receiver's power button. I know it disappoints many people who are putting the AV receivers in closed room or dark room where they do not want to see any single bit of light, because it can be a distraction after all for the experience. Now let's understand why JBL really calls this MA series as the modern audio series, because it has got two distinguishing features. In today's time, everybody wants very minimal approach as well as clutter-free designs. So the first point is of this remote control. Now if you look at this remote control, I guarantee you that for any AV receivers, you have never seen a remote control which is with only probably 6, 7, 8 buttons. Most of the AV receiver buttons are big in quantity as well as the remote size is also big. So JBL has decided to go sleek with minimal buttons which are only required to operate, and unnecessarily they have removed all the other clutter from the remote control. The second is the back panel of the AV receiver. Now be it the high performance series or the regular series, JBL's back panel has been one of the most cleanest back panel that I have seen in any of the recent AV receivers. And probably for these two reasons, they are calling it as the modern audio. Now the back panel has got your standard HDMI connections which are required, fair enough. Then they have got the speaker binding post, obviously that is important. Then you have got the analog outputs and input ports which are hardly couple of them. So you have got zone 2 connections, subwoofer pre-outs, and apart from that 2 analog input ports. That's it. For digital as well, they have got 1 coaxial and 1 optical. No fanciness. And in case you want to connect a turntable, they have got a phono input with the grounding connection. Now all of this is one of the best minimal amplifiers that you can see in the market today. Now probably these are one of the reasons why JBL calls it modern audio. But then when I started on the amplifier and I realized that it has got a fancy calibration feature called EasySet EQ. So let's talk more about it. Now JBL's EasySet EQ is a simple app-based calibration service where the application tells you a step-by-step process to calibrate the entire home theater setup. Now I know many of you will feel that most of the AV receivers do that. What makes EasySet EQ or JBL so special? Well, first of all, if you look at the app, it has got everything that you can do just over your fingers. You don't need the remote control at all. One thing you need is that the Wi-Fi connection has to be common for your amplifier as well as for your smartphone. Once you have that, the JBL EasySet EQ will tell you exactly how to calibrate your room. Each time they calibrate a speaker, they are also calibrating your subwoofer, which means that you don't have to calibrate subwoofer separately. Now I know some of you may feel that this is the wrong way of calibrating a home theater, but trust me, if they are looking at a modern audio service or a modern audio as a solution, then people want to ensure that the low frequencies are integrating well with your main channels of speakers, and that's why this calibration technique can be nice. And to those of you who are planning to use a 2-channel stereo separately in this amplifier or with your floor standing speakers, you can have that option selected as well. So they have taken very good care of you, where you can select a large speaker which can be a full range without subwoofer and with subwoofer too. Now we checked the JBL MA9100HP amplifier with the JBL Stage 2 speakers. And we thought that it really did its job pretty well for movies as well as for music. The soundstage that was achieved was extremely nice and the vocals were coming out very, very clear. Now, I don't know if that was the magic of the JBL speakers or the JBL amp. So we decided to even play it with some other brand speakers, but guess what? The results did not change. In terms of operation as well, the JBL's 9100HP amplifier was extremely smooth, very, very fast. We could switch between the inputs as well as between the surround modes, and the amplifier never failed to impress. Now, while listening to music, the front screen display really looks classy and becomes a nice talking point in the space where you have installed this amplifier. Now, there was one fine observation that we could do with the JBL's amplifier. Now, I don't know if the EasySet EQ is to be blamed, but when it was turned on, the mid-bass section of the sound was very, very harsh. It was very loud. And we felt that it has to be turned off in some way or the other. So the first thing that we did was we turned off the EasySet EQ as the standard setting in the amplifier. We did a fine-tuning and then finally managed to get a sound output which was desirable to enjoy the sound properly. So, if you are planning to not have a calibration engineer do a job and to do it by yourself, you will have to start playing with the amplifier, and EasySet EQ also allows you to further fine-tune the setup. But definitely as a brand, they need to work upon this EasySet EQ and that setting where you can calibrate the speakers with the subwoofer. Maybe that was to be blamed for this higher mid-bass performance. Okay, now finally let us understand whether JBL's MA series of amplifiers is really meant for a serious home theater user like you. Well, first of all, you should buy JBL MA series of amplifiers. If you're a firm believer in the brand, you know that it stands for movie sound and music, and you want to build an entire ecosystem of JBL. Then JBL's MA series amplifier needs to be the one powering your home theaters. The second is for those of you who want to have that aesthetic appeal into their rooms. Be it with the white color model or the black color model, you can play around with the colors as well as the front screen display and the LED light glow at the bottom can actually be a nice form factor in the AV cabinet. The third one is for those of you who want to have a clutter-free experience. A clutter-free experience for the remote control or with the back panel connections or even while operating the amplifier. Now, in each of these cases, the amplifier is really clutter-free. And the last one is for any serious home theater buyer who wants to have a Dirac Live Ready software used with this amplifier. You can actually explore the JBL's flagship MA series amplifier, which are the high performance series of amplifiers. For the entry level, I feel you can give it a pass and the other amplifiers can do the job, but the HP series is definitely worth considering for your home cinema experience. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, whether you would decide to go ahead with this for your home theater setups, and if not, feel free to share the reason as well. That's it from my end. I, Tanmay Mehta, your home cinema consultant or home theater wale bhaiya, will see you again in the next video.